Oh yeah, the second half of yesterday's. I will. No, I forgot about that. I will post that later today. I will make a note for myself and remember to do that. Okay. So 7.2 is all about equations of circles and ellipses. So today we're just going to focus on equations of circles in the coordinate plane. You may remember a little bit of this from last year if you were there during the online learning segment of last year, I believe is when you would have gotten to it. But if not, we're in for a big refresher. So 7.2 equations of circles. They are a lot more simple than equations of ellipses, which is what we're going to hit tomorrow. So we're going to ease our way in. And here we go. So 7.2 circles. Okay, so just like we had the kind of the standard form or the P form for the equation of a parabola, circles also have a standard form to their equation. It is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So that's kind of the standard form for our circle equation. HK is the center of the circle. That's the coordinates of the center. R is the radius. Okay. So we could be given an equation like this and ask what is the center and what is the radius. We could be given a center and a radius and asked to write the equation. We could be given a graph and asked to write the equation. So let's start with where we're given an equation and asked about the characteristics. So let's say we've got x squared plus y minus 3 squared equals 75. Okay. And we want to find center and the radius. All right, well, the center is usually pretty easy to pick out since it's HK. In this case, H is 0 since there is no H value, and K is 3. So our center is going to be 0, 3. So there's part of our answer. Second part is finding the radius. Now we know that 75 is r squared. So if I take the square root of both sides, we get the square root of 75. Or if you want to simplify that, occasionally you will need to remember how to simplify a root. So if you think about 75, it breaks down into 25 and 3. So the square root of 25 times the square root of 3, and the square root of 25 is 5. So this is really 5 root 3. Oops, square root of 75 equals r, not r squared. So 5 root 3 would be the radius. Or if you're asked for a decimal rounded to the nearest tenth, obviously then just plug it into the calculator and round your decimal. But if you are asked for your simplified answer, sometimes you'll get a whole number answer by taking the square root of whatever's over here, and sometimes you won't. Does the formula add up to the diameter? No, because diameter is 2 times the radius, not the radius squared. So the diameter for this one, if you were asked for the diameter of the circle, would be 10 root 3, because it's just this multiplied by 2. Good question, though. If you left it as a square root of 75, it really depends on who's asking the question. If in IXL, for example, sometimes they will ask you for the exact answer, and if they ask you for the exact simplified answer, they will be expecting a 5 root 3. If it's me asking, I'm usually fine with leaving it as the square root of 75, because there's very few instances where you actually need to simplify. But yeah, anyway. It depends is the answer to that one. Any other questions with this example? All right. Then, next one. You might be given a picture like this. And we'll say here's the center. And well, my circle is a little bit lopsided, but the intent was to draw an actual circle there. And if my graph spacing was better, I probably would have ended up with a better circle. But anyways, we get the idea. On this one, we are going to be asked to write the equation of the circle. All right, so in order to write a circle equation, we need to identify two things. We need to find the radius and the center. That's step one. Step two is just to plug stuff in. So we know that the center for this one is 3, -2. The radius, you can just count out from the center 1, 2. We notice that the radius is 2. Step 2, plug in r, h, and k to our equation. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So we end up with x minus 3 squared plus y minus -2, which is y plus 2 squared, equals, the radius is 2, 2 squared is 4. Any questions from that one? Okay. Then, let's see. I think that's as far as the IXL ones will take it. So, we'll leave it there for now, and I'm going to have you guys try a couple real quick. First one, find the center and the radius. 4x plus 9 squared plus y minus 5 squared minus 36 equals 0. Second one, and then for number 2, write the equation of the circle. Take a moment, try both of those. When you think you've got it, type "got it" in the chat. Carson's got it. Awesome. If you got a little stuck on the first one, don't forget to add 36 to both sides real quick, and then it should look like you're used to seeing. And if you can't tell from the drawing, this distance here is 3. All right, Jasmine's got it, Aaron's got it. Awesome. We'll wait for a few more people at least, and then we will talk about them. All right, nice job, Paige. All right, good stuff. For those of you who figured it out, what's the center of number 1? What'd you get for your coordinates? All right, we got a couple people saying 9, -5. Anyone else get something different? Or do we agree? -9, 5. Yeah, so we kind of got two different things going on here. We got -9, 5, and 9, -5. So what do we think? If this is the first one and this is the second one, let's vote. 1 or 2? It's a little bit tough to tell, right? So if we look back at our standard equation for it, it's x minus h and y minus k. And the center is hk, right? So if we look at our first example, we had y minus 3, and the center y coordinate was positive 3. So it's the opposite of whatever is in here. Yeah, that's the only thing that sometimes trips people up on these. So it is this one, not this one. But that was great. Then we could, I'm glad we got both of those answers, because then we could kind of illustrate the difference there. And whatnot. All right, what's the radius going to be for number 1? Got to vote for 6. Anyone else feeling 6? Yes, I would agree with you, because the square root of 36, if r squared is 36, the square root of 36 is 6. All right, so radius is 6, center is -9, 5. Does the plus in between make a difference? Yes, it absolutely does. Good catch. The plus in here, so if it's a minus, then we might be dealing with something like a hyperbola or a whole different thing. What's kind of fun We'll take this side trip real quick since we have time. If you open up Desmos, because you can graph circles in Desmos, and you can go, x plus 9 squared plus, y minus 5 squared equals 36. And we end up with this circle. Or if we change it to a minus, you end up with something that looks like this instead, which is a hyperbola. And so that's actually what we're going to cover in 7.3. So yes, the plus in between absolutely makes a difference. I like that line of thinking. All right. Second one, writing the equation of the circle. Real quick, we know the center is 5, 4. We know the radius is 3. So if we're writing that equation, we want to go, this is h and k and r. So then x minus 5 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals 3 squared. And we would want to simplify that to 9. Oh, nice. Aiden graphed both formulas with the two different centers here. And yeah, they are a little bit off from one another, aren't they? All right. So we should get x minus 5 squared plus y minus 4 squared equals 9 for that second one. So real quick, on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being I'm totally lost, 5 being this is pretty darn easy, what are we feeling today? All right, looks like mostly 4s and 5s. Good deal. Okay, today's assignment I think you are going to like, at least for its simplicity. It's basically more questions like these in the IXL format. So let's take a look at that real quick. We have an assignment and an exit ticket today, as long as I don't forget to post it. Okay. Come on. There we go. So the first one, finding properties of circles. You'll be given either a graph or an equation. Like in this case, they just show you a graph, and we want to write down the coordinates of the center of the circle. So in this case, 7, -7. Let's jump a level here. Or what's the radius of the circle? You count out from the center. Okay, the radius is 2. Or the equation like this, we want to be able to identify the center from the equation. So in this one, it's 0, 0. Or what is the diameter? Pay attention if it asks for radius or diameter, because the radius is 3, but the diameter of this one is 6. Okay, but then this one, they ask for the radius. And they do want simplified, rationalized form. So that is like we kind of talked about in example 1, where you do have to simplify the square root. And then the second is writing equations of circles in standard form. Notice how you've got the parentheses and the square button down here that they want you to use because the little up caret 2 thing doesn't work on IXL, unfortunately. But we would write the equation. The center of the circle is -1, 0. So we would write x plus 1 squared. Oops, can't even follow my own directions here. Squared plus y squared, or y minus 0 squared, equals, and then the radius of this thing is 7, so 49. And they're pretty much going to ask questions like that, I think, the entire way. Because, yeah, just getting one correct already gets you to a SMART score of 28. So that is everything for today. If you have questions, feel free to stick around and ask them. Otherwise, you guys are free to go and enjoy the rest of your day. Looks like it's turned sunny out there.